It is Thursday night, the last one of the week. We've saved the best till last this week. One of my favourite songwriters of his generation on the show tonight, and he is back with brand new music. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Declan McKenna. How are you?
Yeah, good, Dan. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good. It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you for a few years. I was just trying to put a date on it. I know it was a War Child gig in North London.
Yeah,
it was maybe 2020? 2019?
It was the start of 2020. It was February at Islington Assembly Hall.
Just before it all booted off.
It's an amazing venue, and it was literally like weeks before we were all like, nothing's gonna happen. And then everything happened, obviously.
Yeah, right. I have to say, on the night as well, I do think, as I've been on holiday in Italy recently, I may have seen shorter shorts, but at that point in my life I don't think I'd seen a pair of shorter shorts, and I wanted to compliment you on the bravery of those.
Thanks very much. Yeah, it was like short shorts and like an army jacket.
Yeah, right.
That was like a real one-off. We had like a mannequin as well, dressed up in the middle of the stage.
I remember,
It was like, that was a movie.
Have you had those short shorts out yet? I know June was beautiful.
Well, yeah, we were just in America, and it was literally boiling everywhere, so it was pretty short shorts the whole way through. And we were in Florida, and that was like,
this time of year as well.
Yeah, the short shorts aren't even short enough. Do you know what I mean? It's
not
like
in that humidness.
And the sea is like a bath, so definitely a couple of short shorts going around.
Let's talk about the new tune then, Sympathy. I absolutely love this big summer banger.
Yeah.
Go on, what is it?
Yeah, it's a summer banger. I'm excited. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it at this point.
I was going through the journey of it, and I was thinking it starts like sort of, it's quite Beatlesy. Then it goes into like a sort of Starman vibe. I hear some Tame Impala in there. Very much you, very much your own stamp on that. And I thoroughly enjoyed those kind of influences. Are they in your head when you're creating this music, those kind of things? Have you noticed them? Can you hear those?
Of course. It's definitely, I feel like there's almost like a Beach Boysy thing to the production, and with this song we made it so stark and direct. Like there's only a handful of parts for that sort of first like verse section, and it's definitely influenced by, I think, some of the like pioneers of like studio recording, where they kind of realised that you didn't have to make it just sound like a live band, and that's kind of me realising that as well, and just trying some stuff out. But it's such a direct process, like making that song, because it was the first thing I wrote with Luca, who's basically produced the whole record with me, and it just kind of came out, the chords just kind of came out, and it was very like, shall we try this? And all of a sudden we had this song, so we weren't really thinking a whole lot about influences or where it was all stemming from, but there's definitely reference to those like 60s artists for sure, and also like, as I say, there's a bit of a switch up and a more sort of psychedelic realm, which is just kind of my bread and butter really. Like it's closer maybe to what I listen to day to day than what I listened to before. It's an updated version of kind of where I'm at with all of that, so yeah, I can definitely hear all of those seeping into it.
Should we just play the song? Because lots of people aren't going to heard this. In fact, nobody's really heard this until this point.
Unless you've heard the minute snippet that's
exactly that you've been posted. Yeah, you haven't heard the full thing. This is brand new music from Declan McKenna on the Radio X Evening Show. This is called Sympathy.
Radio X.
Told you. Summer banger. New music from Declan McKenna. That is called Sympathy on the Radio X Evening Show, and we were lucky enough to be joined by the man himself tonight. I wanted to ask you about the lyrics. I'm fascinated by the songwriting process, especially with someone like you. There's a line in the song that says, if you don't speak your thoughts aloud, you just feel them forever.
Yeah. And
I wonder, where'd you get that kind of insight from?
To be honest, that's probably my favourite line in the whole song. I think it sums up the whole meaning of the song. So I'm glad you brought it up, because the song is about letting go of your inhibitions and not just being true to yourself, but being true to people around you, and just, it's a simple message, but it comes from the heart. Is that the Arthur theme song?
The cartoon?
It's a simple message, but it comes
I'm too old.
from the heart.
I'm sorry.
Just believe in yourself. Anyway, I don't know. I think it's just one of these things you learn, like, I feel like being yourself really means sometimes being a completely different person every day. Because that is being yourself. That is just being a relaxed, like, an honest version of yourself, and not putting sort of an ego in front of yourself. It's just like taking things in and reacting to the world as it comes at you. And often that's just, leads you to being better to yourself and better to others, I think. And that's kind of the idea behind Sympathy, and a lot of the record really has that at the heart of it. Like, it has these sort of simple messages that do just want you to let loose.
We were talking off air about this sort of 3-month, I was about to call it a slog, but let's just call it a tour around America this year. Nothing over here till next year then, in terms of tour dates?
We're doing Reading and Leeds.
Well, I mean, as a tour, as a tour.
Decent,
will there be a tour?
Probably not. But there will be.
Yeah.
But no, there's nothing that anyone could get any tickets for, I think.
I only ask because
doing Reading and Leeds.
I know what it's going to be like when this goes out. There'll be, super fans hungry for information.
Yeah, they already are.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. There'll be two things. They'll criticise the videos. They'll say, this old man doesn't know this guy. He doesn't know anything about him. And they'll say, he didn't ask enough questions. That's what they'll always say.
Should have gone deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all right. You can blame me. It's my fault.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't want to say anything.
Please bring up anything I should, so I don't get criticised on Twitter and Instagram by your fans. Now, I know you're a big Bowie fan. You actually did an expert video for us on Bowie a few years back. And incidentally, last week, it was the 50th anniversary of him killing off Ziggy Stardust. Did you know that?
Is that the gig where he just announced on stage, he was like, this is my band's final gig?
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to do, David.
We're kind of in a summer of veterans right now, with Pulp back together. Blur are about to do 2 nights at Wembley.
Pulp. It was amazing.
Did you go Finsbury Park?
I did.
Wow.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Was it a different class, Declan?
It was a different class, yeah. I mean, they're wicked. Like, the highs are just so high, like, in their shows. They're like really meant to be played live.
What do you make of Jarvis as a frontman?
Yeah, he's one of the best. He's just the coolest guy. There's so many people dressed like him in the crowd. It's
really?
Great. Like, people younger than me. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. I haven't had that much cider at a gig in a long time. I just had I can't say too much about it, but I had a really good time.
That's all that counts. Are there any other reunion shows you'd like to see? Anyone back on stage you want to see?
Yeah, I want to see Blur. I've got to see Blur again, because I did see them at Electric Picnic a few years ago, but my cousins, this was, in Ireland, obviously, and they're like, oh, we've got to, I'm not going to do an accent, but, we've got to go, we've got to leave early, we've got to beat the traffic. I'm like, it's Blur! Like, are you crazy? So I have to see that. I don't know, I can't think of anyone else that's coming back, but I think there's a lot of, there's a Britpop revival. There's one band missing from the occasion.
Oh, I wonder who that could be, Declan.
I think they're going to get jealous, though.
Yeah. Do you think that's what'll drive them back?
Well, because everyone's going to go to, a Blur and a Pulp gig and be like,
yeah.
I
think Damon Albarn said to me when he was in with Blur a couple of weeks ago, he said, look, if we can do 2 Wembleys, Oasis can do 5, and eventually that's what'll bring them back together.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
He's prodding them.
Yeah. All right, listen, we're going to wrap it up here. Sympathy, as I said, is a summer banger. We love it, and thank you so much for coming on, Declan. And if there is an album or a tour that you want to come and talk about, please do come back on the show at some point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, would love to.
Declan McKenna, everybody.
Thanks so much.